Let's talk about all of the things that led me to failing step 1 and all of the mistakes that I made in my second dedicated period so that you don't do the same thing. Hey my loves, welcome back to my channel. I know that this was supposed to be a step 1 vlog. Obviously that's not what I'm doing right now, and it's because I was editing, right, all of those clips, and it just didn't feel right. It didn't feel right because I feel as though I have spent enough time telling y'all my experience going through my dedicated, right? Getting ready for the exam all over again. But I don't think that I provided a step-by-step, here is what not to do, educational standpoint of being a retester. I wanna give one because I think that that is much more helpful than you all seeing me stressed out and crying. Yes, that might be relatable. You might get me, it might connect with you, but I want this to be a learning experience both for myself and for y'all watching, because if you don't have to go through some of the things that I went through, that's a win. That's a win for me and a win for you. So let's just jump right into it. First of all, I would say that the number one thing that led me to not doing well, not passing the first go around, was questioning and second guessing my readiness and timeline to prepare for the exam. From day one, I had actually told my advisor that I was planning to take extended study. So at my institution, and every institution is different, I was allotted 4 weeks of dedicated study time. You could have 6 weeks if you decided to study during the holiday, but I already knew that I wasn't doing that regardless of me doing extended or not. So I realistically only had 4 weeks to get ready. Based on how I did with my CBSE, and if you guys don't know what that is, the CBSE is like a miniature version of a NBME, which is a miniature version of step 1. So a preview of a preview. I fell asleep.
Bruh.
I fell asleep. I don't know how that happened. Actually, yes, I do. It was because they had us in the basement, y'all. They had us in the basement with the lights off and it was warm. So it was as if my brain couldn't lock in and it couldn't focus. Honestly, that was indicative of a larger problem that I wouldn't discover until later on, and we'll save that for later on. But I just knew that something was off. I knew the fact that that happened meant that, okay, Janae, maybe you will need more time. I had messaged my dedicated advisor because there's a different one for dedicated as compared to your regular curriculum. And I emailed him after the exam and said, hey, so I'm gonna be taking extended. No ifs, ands, or buts. We're not gonna discuss this. We're not gonna talk about it. I'm just gonna go ahead and take the extended. Let me know the steps and everything necessary so I can go ahead and do that. He, of course, told me, hey, look, that's not how it works. You can't just unilaterally decide that you're gonna take extended. You need to talk to us and, you know, us to come up with a plan and da-da-da-da-da. And while I understand that, while I understand that I can't just not talk to anyone and then be like, boom, I'm gonna take an extra 4 weeks, I still should have been left to make the ultimate decision to do the extended from day one. And I made the mistake of allowing this man to talk me off the ledge essentially without addressing how the heck I got to the ledge. I think that people oversimplify why a person might have academic anxiety. Oh, you just don't feel confident in yourself. You don't feel like you're gonna pass, right? Like natural anxieties. But then there's also anxieties and insecurities rooted from not understanding why you're feeling the way that you're feeling. Because up until that point, I had actually been doing very well in preclinical. There were a couple of hiccups. Cardiology whooped my ass. Other than that, my average was about an 85 for all of my blocks. So in comparison to the average, I was doing good, but that isn't why I was having the anxiety. I was having anxiety over the fact that I could not sit myself down to study adequately. It constantly felt as if my mind was drifting and racing and I had 1,000,010 things going on, and I just didn't feel like I was going to be able to put my best foot forward. So I really should not have let this man talk me out of that, because the only person who is going to be able to evaluate readiness is you. Nobody else is going to be able to dictate and determine when you feel, hey, I can get through this exam and it's going to be fine because I did everything that I could have done prior to this day. I never felt like that, not once, y'all. I always felt like I coulda, shoulda, woulda did more, and ultimately that's what led me to not passing. But again, getting ahead of myself, we'll get there. I'm just saying, if you know from jump that you might need more time, bruh, go ahead and take the extra time, because it is very different scheduling and planning to take an exam in a 12-week time frame or even an 8-week time frame than a 4-week time frame. It's totally different in terms of pacing, reviews, right? It's just a lot that you can achieve. But if you end up trying to truncate it, trying to do the 4 weeks, and your brain has a different approach, your brain wants to take extra time, what you're going to end up doing is have a bunch of cram sessions. You're going to be trying to study and get ready, and then boom, it's going to come and you're going to be like, I need more time. And that's going to keep happening to where every time you approach the deadline, you end up having to push it back. And that's because you are never on your accurate timeline of the 8 or 12 weeks that you needed in the first place. And that's exactly what happened to me. To other people, it looked like, oh, she's just getting cold feet. She just doesn't, you know, there's something that's going on that she just needs the confidence to go ahead and take it, when really I was trying to communicate, no bro, I'm not doing what I need to do and I don't know why. And yeah, it's tough because I think that big medicine, yes, big medicine, just like big pharma, I don't think it allows you to have autonomy in the way that you usually would as an adult. You can't necessarily change deadlines, move things, adjust things in accordance to your needs, because you're always worried about what else is going on and what everybody else needs or wants you to do. It's very rare that you are making decisions for yourself, by yourself, in a silo. It's always in reference to what big medicine wants and needs. I am not saying this as a conspiracy theorist, but please don't ever forget that medicine is a business. They will also make it harder for you to make decisions that are best for yourself by purposely leaving out information in hopes to discourage you from making said choices. With me wanting to take extended, y'all, I didn't hear anything about my graduation timeline until it was already too late. I didn't hear anything about, okay, what does it look like now moving forward, until after I was already in a pit of anxiety about it, and as well as me doing my own due diligence to talk to other people. I shouldn't have had to do all that. I should not have had to go out and seek these answers. They should have just been provided to me. Hey, you made this decision, so now this is what this looks like. I didn't get that. And a lot of people don't. This is not just my institution. This is not to reflect badly on my institution. This is something that I have talked about to people that I know across the nation, okay? Big medicine. It's big medicine. But regardless, I still don't think that you should let that deter you from doing what is best for you, because it's better to over prepare and say, hey, I need 8, 12 weeks, and then maybe you only need 6, than to not have that option at all, or to once again put yourself on a timeline that naturally isn't fit for you. That's like the number one thing. The second thing that I would say was a mistake in terms of getting ready for step 1 the first time was listening to other people. I am not trying to be a pessimist, but I firmly believe that if you have friends in medical school, they are only your friends if you all talk and hang out outside of class. And then when you talk and hang out, if the only thing that y'all ever talk about is school, those are not your friends. Those are your classmates, bro. Just don't make that mistake. Not during dedicated to have those types of people in and around you, because all they will do is bring their own academic anxieties into this space. And I think that that does much more harm than good. For example, I remember when I first told my friends that I wanted to take extended study, one of the guys, we're gonna call him Barry, because Barry's gonna come up again. Barry goes, are you crazy? You know that means you're not gonna graduate on time, right? I don't know how you can do that. That can never be me. Da, 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 da. Flapping his gums. Just to fast forward, Barry is also in extended study time. Barry also took extra time in dedicated after giving me for it, after making me feel like I was insane for it. Oh, okay. And I'm not saying that he necessarily did that with malicious intent. I just think that for a lot of people in medicine, their default is anxiety. Their default is doubt. It is. I just think that if you can minimize how often you come into contact with that type of energy, especially while trying to study for a large exam, the better. The better. I also think that it's inevitable that people are going to judge you, right? Even like outside of your friends, but people in your class, period, because it allows them to escape their own realities. By shitting on you, they don't have to shit on themselves. They have a new target. Again, minimize how often you expose yourself to that type of negativity and that type of energy as much as possible, because protecting your peace is going to be so crucial here. On the flip side, you want to protect other people from your anxious energy, because y'all, when I first found out that I didn't pass, and this was not my best moment, I'm saying this with full transparency and honesty, the first thing that I thought was, how did I not pass, but these other people did? I said it was not my best moment. I said it was not my proudest moment, but it's real. I literally sat there confuzzled, hearing how some of these people who I knew that I did better than in terms of preclinical studies, how the hell did they pass and I didn't? And that just is such a negative state of mind to be in, right? Like, that does absolutely nothing for me to think about that, but it was just a natural knee-jerk reaction, unfortunately. In order to avoid that, it's just better to be conscious of your own energy. Now, back to Barry real quick before I get into actual day of exam. This man told me that he failed step 1 as like a joke. I remember distinctly, he told me to come on over because I didn't even think I knew that that was the day that he would have been receiving his score. I just thought that he wanted some company. So I came over, we were hanging and talking. He was telling me about his exam experience, da 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 da. And then he starts like celebrating. He gets really excited and it's like, oh, let's go. My academic advisor just texted me congratulations. I haven't checked my score all day because I've been nervous. So getting this text message, you know, it means a lot. Cool. Clap, 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 clap. Hey, tell me what you thought about the exam so I can maybe get ready. Thank you. And he was like, yeah, of course you're gonna kill it, da 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 da. Y'all, a couple days later, I kid you not, and I wish I was, this man texts me and goes, oh my God, Janae, you won't believe it, I didn't actually pass. How tone deaf of my advisor to text me on such a day that I would be receiving my score to congratulate me on a paper. He claims, in his own words, that his advisor hit him up about a publication, and that's what the congratulation was for, and that he actually had failed. Okay, I immediately went into friend mode. Are y'all right? Do you need anything? Do you want me to come over? No, just give me some time. Cool, no problem. I started researching stuff on my own. I'm talking, hit up my mentor, asked her if she knew anybody in his specialty of interest that could possibly mentor him, so that way he still had hope to pursue his specialty of his dreams. Yeah, I'm about to like get emotional thinking about it because it was just such an unnecessary and, in my opinion, malicious lie, especially in hindsight of me not passing. And I'm doing all this work. I'm on Reddit. I don't even be on Reddit. I hate Reddit. If y'all are familiar with my platform, y'all know I tell you to stay off of Reddit for a reason, right? I'm on Reddit looking up stuff for him. Hey, they said that you get a score report and it shows you your weak areas. Do you want to get together so we can go over those weak areas together? I still have about a week before I take my assessment. If you want to do that, da da da, right? He starts answering kind of spotty. And that's when I knew that he lied. Because why are you being weird about it? Why are you acting like you don't know what I'm talking about when I say score report? You should have got it the day that you didn't pass. One day he calls me after I take my assessment. Hey, how did it go? Da, da, da. I stopped him right in his tracks. You lied to me, didn't you? You didn't actually fail step. You said that and I don't know why, and it's weird and we can't be cool anymore. And he went into this little rant, oh, you acting like you've never lied to me before. Let me tell you something. I don't lie maliciously. I have lied during this new dedicated period, right? During my leave of absence, out of embarrassment and shame. When people would ask me, Janae, how did the exam go? Did you pass? Yeah, I took it and I passed. Because I didn't want to tell them that I was still in this space of not being ready to test. I didn't want to tell them that because it brought, again, shame and embarrassment to me. However, to lie to me about something that you did well, what? So that was the end of that friendship, but I'm just saying that is an example of what I'm talking about when I say that you just gotta protect your energy, because folks have weird vibes. Folks in medicine can be very odd, can be very strange. It's almost as if they have some type of social stigmatism or something, and I don't say that lightly. I'm not saying it to be funny. It's real. Let's now get into the errors of exam day. First off, I should not have taken that exam because of everything that was going on in my personal life, with my aunt having had a stroke, my grandmother having fell into a coma. I should have taken that as a sign from the Lord that I just need to not. And that I need to talk to my administration about, okay, so since I'm not coming back for trimester 2, since I'm not starting my clinicals in any of these times, what does it look like now? Da 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 da. that should have been the course of action that I took, but it wasn't. So I went in there and I was not fully confident. I'm not saying that you have to go into the exam feeling like you're gonna blow it out the water. I don't know if that's a thing, but you should at least go into the exam feeling like I know enough and I did enough and my best will be good enough. Okay, my efforts to this time are gonna carry me over the finish line and I am going to pass. If that's not how you feel in terms of your preparation or just as the exam day is approaching, don't take it, because a majority of the exam is confidence. I want to say maybe 85% of the exam is confidence, because a lot of the questions, I won't lie, or at least from my perspective, are doable. It is stuff that you have seen before. It is not going to be something that's completely left field unless it's like an experimental question. And even still, you need to have confidence that you know enough about what was asked that you probably got it right. Okay, but if that's not the case, just don't take it. Don't take it. Push it back again or just cancel it, period. But don't go in there feeling 50%. The second block of questions, because if you don't know, the exam is 7 blocks long of 40 questions each for an hour of allotted time each. By the time that I got to the second one, I knew that I probably wasn't going to pass because I started freaking myself out through small ways. First, I started flagging questions that I did not actually know how to answer. That makes absolutely no sense, because why are you flagging and looking up or looking back at something that you don't have the answer to? Looking at it again is not gonna help you get the answer, so why are you, right? Like why would you flag it? That was error number 1. Then I would say error number 2 was that during my breaks, and again, if you didn't know this, you are allowed to look at your iPad. You're allowed to look at your notes. You're allowed to look at stuff. Don't do that. You know what you're gonna be looking up? You're gonna be looking up all of the answers to things that you think that you got wrong. And then if you have confirmation that you got something wrong, all that is gonna do is put more doubt in your mind. You are gonna go back into that exam knowing that you got 5 questions wrong in that block. Confirmed questions wrong, on top of the ones that maybe you can't remember and maybe you got wrong. Please, y'all, that's just not gonna bode well. So after having done that, right, after having gone in there, my confidence was already pretty low. It wasn't as high as it should have been. Then to go and flag questions that I had no hope of getting correct because I had no clue about the answer, to then confirm the questions that I got wrong. Oh yeah, I was cooked. It was over for me. I gave up mid-exam. By the time block 4 came, I started crying and I had a panic attack. Literally hyperventilating. The test person is coming up and asking me, am I okay? Telling me it's all right, like go ahead and finish out the section and then go in the hall and just calm down. Could I have avoided my test? Yes, I could have, because you do have that option at the end to say, hey, don't even bother scoring it. I don't know why I didn't. I guess I kind of still had faith that even after all of that, I could still pass, and that just wasn't the case. There are things that you can do that make the experience that much harder. If you can avoid them, just try your best to, and that's why I wanted to make this video. When it comes to my second dedicated period and just how this experience has been and some of the things that I had to go through, you have to feel your feelings, man. Don't try to avoid them. Don't try to like just power through and jump right back into studying. No. Because I did that at first. I had actually not passed in the summer of 2024. And then I tried to just jump right back into it, and I even scheduled an exam for the end of the summer. Don't do that. Take some time to just process, because it's a shitty feeling, bro. It's a sucky feeling to go in there and just not get it done, especially if you know that you have been fine academically and it's kind of a mystery to you about what was going on, or rather how much you miscalculated about yourself. I started doubting if I even really knew who I was. I started doubting if I really understood my psychosocial dynamics, right? I questioned so much about me and who I was. To think that I could go and take another exam 2 months later, foolish. So I definitely spent some time feeling my feelings. I went to therapy. Shout out to my therapist, because I'd probably be traumatizing that poor woman. I went to therapy, and that's actually when I found out that I had undiagnosed severe ADHD. When I say that this lady on our third meeting, because I had initially gone in there just to talk about my emotions, not necessarily to get assessed for anything. In my third meeting, she stopped me mid-conversation. Like, I'm in the middle of yapping about something, and she goes, have you ever been assessed for ADHD? Because if you haven't, you really should. I'm getting and hearing a lot of things that are evident to high functioning ADHD that's also now impairing you psychosocially. Like, you're gonna burn yourself out. She said it straight like that. So I went and I got evaluated, and sure enough, I scored off the charts for ADHD. It just felt like my world clicked. It felt like I finally had answers to a lifelong question that I never thought that I would get the answer to. And it was such a relief. Like, y'all, I don't know how to describe how just relaxed I was, knowing that I wasn't just like that there actually was something going on with my brain that just kept me high strung. I have always felt super like uptight, not in a stuffy personality way, but more of a, my entire universe will collapse if I don't just keep going. If I don't just keep running, achieving, accomplishing, right? If I don't stay on my hamster wheel, my world doesn't make sense. So to have somebody tell me, okay, here's the reason you feel like that, it was so great. It was just, bruh, I needed it. And obviously becoming medicated, getting to experience what it's like to exist outside of a ADHD high functioning brain, and to just have peace, to have silence. Such a irreplaceable feeling now. I don't know how I survived prior to me being medicated, prior to me finding out my diagnosis, as well as going back into management of my other comorbidity. I know that I haven't shared my second psychiatric diagnosis, and at one point in time I said that I would, but I just don't think that I will. Just know it is something that I have had for a very long time, and I never thought about how it could affect me in medical school because I've had it managed and it's just been something that I've lived with. But to be able to sit back and evaluate myself as a whole in all of the parts, including the broken pieces, and how it has affected me consciously or unconsciously, I don't know, it just like, it felt like opening my third eye. It felt like I, again, was accessing answers, getting answers that I needed to just move forward in my life. So don't underestimate the time that you need to do that after not passing step one or any other type of setback that you have in life. Take that reset. Take it. Also, I would say something that I really appreciated in my second round of dedicated was just having the time to do stuff that I have missed. So getting back into content creating, doing my makeup, laughing, watching anime, right? Just doing stuff that really fills my cup. Because as I said before, medicine doesn't always allow you to have the best autonomy. So to be able to get that part of me back too, irreplaceable. And I think that's about it. I wasn't really trying to make this video too long, and I hope that by me sharing this, it's helpful to any degree. If it is just finding comfort knowing that somebody else went through this, ooh, Lord, hold on, let me focus, y'all. My bad, I had to lock in because I almost poked myself in the eyeball with the mascara wand. But yeah, I just hope that this video was helpful for anybody who finds themselves in a position, in a time of their life, or about to enter one, and they're feeling just uncertain, unsure, worried that, again, they're gonna make a couple missteps, a couple of side steps that prolong the pain and the frustration of the situation. For anybody who finds themselves trying to recover from a situation, just whatever, I hope that me sharing what I could have done better and being as transparent and honest with that as possible. Here's what I could have done better to possibly avoid this entire thing. But it is what it is, because we're here now. Take it from me. Pay attention. That's it. I don't know. I think that's all I have for this video. The next couple of uploads, I don't know. I have to look back at my planner and see what the heck I'm doing. Just because, y'all, it's been a mess too, trying to get out of this LOA. Have some other updates there. But at least for this one, I wanted to end off on a positive note in that I have lived a hard life in this past year. It has not been easy, but at least I get to impart my wisdom. At least I get to share it on a platform that I have painstakingly built since I was a pre-med. And I have a dedicated and committed community. If this is your first time coming across one of my videos, I hope that you want to join my community, that you want to be a part of my YouTube family, because here we just reflect. We reflect. We try to be honest. We try to keep it real. We try to keep it accountable. And then sometimes, yeah, occasionally we also say it just like sucks. And it's all right for stuff to suck, so long as you try your best to come out on the other side of it. And I hope that this video helps you do that. So yeah, that's it. That's all. Bye, my loves.